Better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
At 5 p.m. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafe. Coming up in tonight's edition of the show, the wife of former Buffer Stock CEO goes to court demanding whereabouts of the husband after he was arrested at Accra International Airport on Sunday. Tonight, we speak to the lawyers. Also coming up on Eyewitness News, the Ghana Road Development Authority dismisses MPP's claims that newly procured locomotives are outdated and not fit for purpose. Tonight, we hear from the CEO of the authority.
What was the technical justification for their statement? There's none. And as the chief executive of GRDA, I am prepared. Even if I'm giving $100 million today, I will still buy Class 56. Because from the technical specification point of view, from line utilization point of view, from line constraint point of view, from power utilization point of view, from the design and architecture of the constraint of thermal to Impakadan line, you cannot bring in Class 70.
And later, we discuss the future of the Black Stars of Ghana after the team's exit from the FIFA World Cup. We'll look at what needs to be done to maintain the team. Stay with us for the next 2 hours as we bring you all these stories and the latest in business, as well as Talk Back, where we bring you your views and opinions you express on the stories we bring you tonight on Eyewitness News. My name once again is Sami Biafi, and welcome to the show. Now, the MPP minority in Parliament not too long ago issued a statement on the recent announcement by government about the acquisition of some new locomotive in respect of the transport sector. The road transport sector. Now, the MPP says that the new locomotive bought were outdated and not fit for purpose. In a statement issued to that effect, the MPP says credible information available to the minority caucus indicates that the new locomotives are nothing but toys fit for museums. Information indicates that the locomotives are old ones which have been rebranded to look like new, and yet it was purchased for this country. Now, the Ghana Railway Development Authority has been reacting to this statement from the minority MPP. But before I speak to the CEO of the authority, Dr. Frederick Apo, let's speak to a member of the MPP Transport Committee that issued this statement not too long ago. And Samuel Attah-Mensah, who is a former member of parliament for Ayeswano, is joining us for a discussion. Sam, thank you very much for your time. Your statement says that these new locomotive bots are outdated. Exactly how did you come to this conclusion?
Let me first say good evening to your listeners and also to my colleague on the other side. Yes, if you look at the physical structure of the Ruaben locomotive, the most important thing is the head. It's not what you call the engine. It's not necessarily the coaches that the engine will carry. Looking at it physically, you can see as the model is very old model. I don't know whether they have confirmed that indeed it was built in 1970. If indeed it was built in 1970, we are talking about 50-year-old locomotive engine. Again, I want to find out if any of us, including yourself, if we indeed have a company like it's been done in other jurisdictions like UK, where the government build infrastructure and the private sector is engaged to provide services, buy the locomotives and run them on the structures provided by the state. Will you go and buy such an old train or locomotive to provide such services that they want to service? They are modern ones. I travel with one of the Bugatti to China and also in Czech Republic to examine some of these locomotives. When the Senegal has ordered construction of the locomotive, I disagree. that the technically the new locomotives we have in other parts of the world is not fit or cannot meet our terrain. It is not true. When such locomotives are ordered, you don't just go and purchase those that have been built. You order with your specification. So you look at your terrain, you look at your climate, and you order to meet your specification. So you send a specification to them. When we went there, we saw what Nigeria has ordered. And for 9 months, they've been able to build to meet their specifications. We saw Senegal.
I'll ask you to hold on for me a bit. There's some news coming in. Let me speak to former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and then I'll come back to you for us to continue this conversation. Former Minister of Justice and Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame is joining us on an issue which is developing because the wife of the former CEO of the Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdullahi, has filed some processes at the court demanding the whereabouts and seeking the immediate release of the husband. Godfred, thank you very much for your time. Former Deputy Attorney General, you are a lawyer for the former Buffer Stock CEO. What is this process that you have filed at the court, sir?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. I think just a little correction. I served the Republic first as Deputy Attorney General, and subsequently was appointed as Attorney General, substantive Attorney General for 4 years. So I do not think that's correct to say I'm former Deputy Attorney General. I am former Attorney General by the grace of God.
Forgive me for that, sir.
Anyway, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, simply an application in the realm of human rights, seeking an order compelling the Attorney General and the Director of BNI to produce before the court Hanan Abdul-Wahab. As far as we're concerned, he's been unlawfully detained. He was unlawfully arrested on Saturday night when he had been given a court order for him to travel out of the jurisdiction. The Attorney General, obviously feeling dissatisfied by the order, decided to engage in this charade, mount this arrest in this style that is totally unbecoming, and I always say it's totally unwholesome in our republic, and has kept him in since that night. His wife has been able to reach him. His wife has made efforts to reach him. That night she tried to reach him. It took a long time before we were able to find out that he was actually being kept at the headquarters of the BNI. So we followed up on Saturday together with the wife. Sunday, we followed up on Sunday together with the wife. We attended upon the offices of the BNI. We denied access to him. He has actually even been denied access to even his own wife to give him food and what have you. I think this kind of practices must stop. And so to date, we have not been able to have access to him. Even on Monday, a working day, they have denied us access. And it's not for want of trying. I've even called the director of BNI myself, sent numerous messages to him on his phone. He cannot deny it because I've seen that he has read the messages. I've spoken with the deputy director of BNI, Ms. Alice Chinajere, and she said, well, she is here to receive the relevant instructions from her boss, just to enable us to have access to our clients. And I understand why this is happening. This is totally unbecoming, and I think it is substandard, and it shows that clearly the Attorney General and the BNI and whatever are responding to very inferior tactics. I mean, it's so shameful, so deplorable. I think it's the lowest that we could get to in our republic.
But then if you say you've asked all the questions and yet you are not being told of his whereabouts, where do you suspect that he will be?
I think that question should be addressed to the Attorney General. His deputy published a Facebook and post on Saturday night, making some wild, unfounded allegations. I quickly came up with a press statement and challenged him to produce evidence of the unfounded statement that he was making, that Hanan Abdul-Wahab had attempted to withdraw money from a frozen account. God, firstly, there's really no frozen account as far as we are concerned, because the High Court Adenta has actually pronounced the matter that all the earlier freezing orders issued by that court had now become moot, had now become spent, following the discontinuance of the prosecution earlier on embarked on by the Attorney General, and following the rearrest and rearrangement before the court of Hanan. So there's no freezing order in place now. In any event, he has never attempted to withdraw any money from any account. And I seek evidence of that. I mean, how can a person attempt to withdraw money from an account without signing a check? So the attorney general who made that claim must come and produce evidence of the means of withdrawal, whether it was by a check or whether it was by withdrawal note or whatever basis as is known to the banking practice of the country. And he cannot do so because there's none. And to date, Monday evening, 6th of July, he has not only failed to produce evidence, he has also failed to produce Hanan. Nobody knows where he is. He has not arraigned him before a court of law, most unbecoming. He's the one who stated in his Facebook post on Saturday that on Monday he's going to go to court and seek a review of the orders. The question is, has he even applied for a review? He has not, as far as we are concerned. So it's just unnecessary, substandard, inferior tactics that are being resorted to by the Attorney General of the Republic just to contravene citizens' fundamental human rights.
The report we had is that he was traveling outside the country. Was he given the permission by the courts to embark on this trip?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, that is not in doubt. Yes, and the order is even in the public domain. I saw it in the public domain. We have also even attached it to a copy of the application for habeas corpus, which is for the Attorney General and the BNI authorities to produce Hanan. They have attached a copy of that order. And we seek an enforcement of that order. That order must be obeyed. So it is not just a production of Hanan before the courts. We seek respectfully to ask the court to ensure that that order is obeyed. And the point is that the failure to charge him in court today, the failure to file any application whatsoever, shows that clearly the Attorney General had no basis at all for stopping him from traveling. The allegation that was made by the Deputy Attorney General, while that it was clearly an effort to prevent an execution of the order, was clearly an effort to prevent the court order from being carried out. But is that the way people who are legally advising the government of Ghana ought to behave? I mean, that it becomes so clear. There's no basis at all for his detention. They must just eat humble pie and release the gentleman. And before we talk about even compliance of the order for him to travel, he must release the gentleman for him to breathe fresh air, for him to have the comfort of his wife.
This process that you have filed at the court, has the court given a hearing date?
Yeah, I think, so in consonance with the spirit of, or in consonance with the rules of fairness, I decided to come on notice. I'm not the kind who will go ex parte like the Attorney General does. They always go ex parte to seek freezing orders and what have you. I feel that it would be fair for us to notify the Attorney General, so the application is on notice, and because it's on notice, the court fixed Friday for the hearing. I think Friday is a little bit too far, so we'll seek an abridgment of that date.
I mean Friday.
So for now, the date on it is Friday.
This coming Friday.
Yeah, this Friday, yes. But I think it's a little too far because the person's human rights are at stake and he's still being kept with access to counsel. So we seek an abridgment of the date.
But again, Godfrey, there are many who has also asked this question about this whole Hanan issue. Is the trial still on?
Well, so that's the question to ask the Attorney General. Yes, of course, the processes are on. The case is on, and they have not been able to commence the trial. And so the question is, why would you be harassing the person even when the trial has not started? I was in this country, I served the Republic as Attorney General for 4 good years. In all the 4 years, I never did any of these actions. I never took any of these steps in preventing an accused person from traveling, in making an order to arrest somebody. Never. There's not a single incident of myself giving an order to police, local, OSP, DSP, OSP, BNI, and what have you, for them to arrest any person or for them to stop the person from traveling, especially when the person has a court order. There are many persons who are in the same position as Hanan now, members of the former administration, the finance minister now, Actor Forcing, Dr. Opuni, Sedu Agongo, the Dr. Dufo, Collins Dowda, and all that, who were standing trial and were traveling in and out of the country all the time. Once the trial was going, they're traveling in and out of the country. There was never an attempt to impede anybody from exercising his right to freedom of movement. So why are we seeing this now? That just because one person has been granted leave to travel to the jurisdiction to seek medical care for just a few days, then the whole law enforcement machinery of the country is feel uncomfortable and they must arrest the person and prevent him from leaving. This is totally unhealthy for our democracy.
Godfrey, thank you very much for your time. Godfrey Adame, counsel for former CEO of the Buffer Store, former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and former Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Let's just stay with this matter. And Martin Kwebu is also joining us. He's a private legal practitioner to get his views on this matter as well. Martin, thank you very much for your time. Godfrey Adame clearly seemed not to be happy at what's going on with his client. But is that a normal practice? He says that the former CEO cannot be found after his arrest at the Dakar International Airport.
Now, let me just make one correction before we come to that one. Dr. Dami is forgetting that when he was AG, ACP, now DCOP Agojo, wanted to travel. He opposed it. The coup plotted case, they opposed it that he shouldn't travel. So the trial judge refused ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo the opportunity to travel. So he should take it easy. We can discuss Hanan's case without going to make sweeping statements that they never impeded anybody. And I can swear that even apart from Agojo, if you open the line, there are other people who will be able to come and prove that they too were denied the opportunity to travel. So he can make the case without saying that nobody was impeded from traveling. And mentioning a few cases doesn't mean that everybody to travel. So he should structure his argument well so that if he hadn't brought that, I wouldn't have gone to Agojo. I would have just gone straight to the questions I advocate for. And we need to put this on record. I was lawyer for Agojo. When the trial judge refused because the Attorney General said no, Agojo will abscond, etc. Anyway, okay, so let's come. The part you said he cannot find the client. This one, let's be clear on this. I thought Friends I had put out information that he's with BNI. Have you guys looked at that post?
Yes, but then he said that he's made calls to officials at the BNI and yet they are not responsive in terms of if indeed his client is in their custody.
Oh. Then you should call Friends I because we are all professional colleagues. I know Friends I. I know the last time he had challenges here and there, but he shouldn't give up. If he does a practice, he should call Friends I because Hanan is already somebody on bail. So if what we are hearing publicly is anything to go by, it's a small matter. That's to say the attempt, assuming that is what I'm not saying it really happened, but assuming the attempt to withdraw money is anything. It's not a big criminal offense. So I don't think that Friends I will refuse to take Godfrey Adame's call. I encourage him to call because, you see, some of these things, if we don't use the immediate practical steps, we may make very big, highfalutin sounds on radio when perhaps a simple call to Friends I would have worked. I'm aware, as I repeat, I'm aware the last time Dr. Adame wasn't happy about how he had been treated by Friends I and co. But that's a closed chapter. He should make an attempt again. It's like a fresh application. It's just like lawyers. Today you go before a judge, you want this order, the judge refuses you. It doesn't mean that tomorrow, if you have another request, another application, you don't go. So I will encourage him that he should call them and call Dr. Ayeni. Dr. Ayeni doesn't look like the type that you would call him saying that you want access to your client in BNI and Dr. Ayeni will refuse. I can vouch for Dr. Ayeni. So I would rather he calls them again. Okay? That's the first step. If that one is not working and then he needs to move on, I've heard elsewhere that he's applying for habeas corpus. Yes? Is that before you? Are you going to ask questions on that?
Exactly. That was done. And he says that the court says they're going to hear that application on Friday, but he believes Friday is too long a time, and so they are hoping to go back to the court so the court can push it a bit forward.
Yes, I'll support Dr. Dami 250%. Friday is too long. You see, these are laws. We have to, you see, quickly I've changed and this one I say I support it because we are looking at everybody's personal liberty. If I don't support him today, tomorrow it will be me. You remember a few months ago, he said Jabe wanted to just abuse his powers and had me arrested. So let's talk for Hanan because we don't know tomorrow. No, the thing is that If under our law, okay, Article 14 Clause 3, bring the person to court within 48 hours. Once it's there, and so far, assuming, yes, we assume that he's not getting access, that's why he's going to court for habeas corpus. Then you cannot bring the habeas corpus application cannot wait till Friday. You need to start. It's not even that we need to start. That's the essence of table number 4. The Supreme Court says that for personal liberties, when it comes, they are urgent. Even when courts are on vacation, even if the court staff are on strike, you can file it. A judge, the Chief Justice will give you a judge, and if they don't find an open place where the judge or a secure place, even in the home of the judge, and in our past, it used to be done. So what I'm saying is that taking inspiration from Martin Table number 4, the Attorney General number 4, I believe that it's about time we have specialized courts for these kind of applications. One, or once it is habeas corpus, there will be a standing direction from the Chief Justice that such an application it should be heard within maybe 24 hours. Yes, because let's do it. We are holding iPhone 17, etc., like what they have in America. So how come that when it comes to personal liberty, if you file in America, you can be heard immediately, but we are holding the iPhone 17 and all the same, the cars, the suits, the shoes, everything here. But when it comes to personal liberties, then that one they're saying Friday. No, I think we should apply to the Chief Justice, or like you said, go to the registrar of the court, then they would contact the judge, because Chief Justice Eniyebua gave orders on how the 48-hour rule should be implemented, meaning that registrars are to liaise with the court in charge so that they'll be giving court immediately. So this Friday thing, no, I don't think it's on. So that one I'll support Dr. Dami any day. Something has to be done about it. It's not on. And after that, we pray that perhaps Chief Justice Bafubon will also come out with his directive, because maybe some registrars who will say that the one Eniyebua gave was in respect of bail. You see, because they call it bail. But this one is called habeas corpus. Meanwhile, the habeas corpus, when the person comes before the judge, the next thing is, yes, why are you keeping him? So if the state is not able to justify the detention, then the judge will give bail. But my point is that, some people are strict literalists. They will say the one Chief Justice Eniyebua, that circular was in respect of bail. This one is called habeas corpus. So perhaps we'll bet Chief Justice Bafuboni to give a circular that will mirror the one on bail that Eniyebua gave after the table number 4 case. Yes, because we need to be very serious about these matters. Let the judge look at the case, and then the judge will decide. Yes.
Martin, is this case different from your case? Your case with the Boku one, where your client was also refused access to his family. Is it the same thing?
Yes. That's how come we went for habeas corpus. Yes, and it delayed. Similarly delayed. So it's even good it's reminded him. So you see, a few months ago out in the Boku case, that's the same thing. Habeas corpus, yes, the number of days they gave, yes, it was also more than 3 days. It was more than, that's not on. So this one there, let's do a petition to Chief Justice Bafuboni that we need a circular on this habeas corpus within 24 hours. Bring the person, yes, because, and let's not forget, most especially in the 1969 Constitution, instead of 48 hours, it was 24 hours. Nigeria that we got in the defense for them. And so we pride ourselves as being faster, etc. Today, Nigeria, if you are arrested, you are brought to court within 24 hours. And Ghana, wielding iPhone 17 Pro Max, etc., we are priding ourselves in 48 hours. So when it comes to habeas corpus, we are now stretching it to 72 hours or something. Or today is Monday, and they are saying Friday. So that's a 48 plus 48. Is that 96 hours? No. This is not Kwame Nkrumah Ghana. This thing is not on. It's not on at all.
Martin, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Martin Kpebu, private legal practitioner. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. The number to send to 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Let's go back to our earlier story where we're talking about the MPP Committee on Policy in terms of transport, accusing this government of, procuring old, unfit for purpose locomotive to serve the people of Ghana. Earlier, we're speaking to Samuel Attah-Mensah. He's a former member of parliament for the Newsroom constituency. In studio is Dr. Frederick Apo. He's the CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority. Doc, welcome.
Bro. Yes, thank you.
I hope you are well. Okay, let me just conclude with Samuel Attah-Mensah, and then I'll take some reactions from you. Sam, you were telling us how you believe that this locomotive that government has purchased is not fit for purpose, and that you travel with Mr. Joe Gatti some time ago to China to procure better ones.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, if the specification that you want, for instance, if it's a truck that you want Euro 3 engine instead of Euro 6 or 7, you can still place order and says that, the country where we are going to use these locomotive engines per the specifications and then the climate and the terrain in our country, we want this type. And they can still build the type that you want for you. But to go for this outmoded one which had been refurbished. Don't forget that during the time of President Kufuor, Italy gave us some buses, Avico buses. Those ones were given to us free of charge. But because of the age, some were 20 years, others 30-year-old buses. They couldn't last. Where are those buses now? You can't even find a single one on the road. But the new ones that we bought, the DAF buses that were there, those that we bought them new, you can still find them on the road. So for me, I disagree with the CEO making some technical specifications. If you want those specifications, you can still get them in new locomotive engines. As I said, when we went to China, we saw what Nigeria has ordered. They will build some for them yet to be transported to Nigeria. We saw that were also prepared from Senegal, except that what we went to see at China was not procured. But we got some from Poland, which is a new locomotive.
Sam,
so for me,
hold on.
I'm of the view that we should love Ghana. We should do things that if it is our private organization, we will do. I don't think.
Sam, just hold on. Just hold on. Sam, just hold on for me. Let me take a reaction from Dr. Paul. Doc, they say you bought us old engines, not fit for purpose, and they are supposed to be toys and be kept at the museum.
Number one, let me take this opportunity to extend my the authorities, Ghana Railway Authority, heartfelt sympathy to the flood victims of Accra, for those who have lost their lives and their livelihood. Sammy, thank you for inviting me here. Number one, there's a difference between a DMU and a heavy locomotive. And this gentleman on the floor talked about visiting that. I am going to talk not as a visiting, but as an industrial person, as an industrial expert. Senegal don't have a locomotive, they have a DMU. These are multiple unit. Okay? Ghana, we have got two diesel multiple units they bought during their time for 164 million, of which DMU 2, chassis number 1, chassis 245 was rejected in Germany, and we got it for 164 million cedis. Okay? What we have is that I want to ask him a series of questions. For him to tell me, he should give me the specifications of Tematin Pakadan. Tematin Pakadan has been designed for the following requirement: 3,000 horsepower, a count of 1.25 degrees. Okay, that means that it's a non-electrified line. You can use that. He made mention of using a locomotive is determined by the body shell. No, a locomotive is determined by the chassis and underframe of the system design. A locomotive is different from a DMU. So diesel multiple unit is what we have. It's a diesel. multiple unit for passenger service. That one is up to about 750 kilowatts. The class 56 we have acquired is 2.25 megawatt. It can power, in terms of electricity output, 4,500 homes. Now, let me challenge him a little bit. Let's go to the market. He should tell me the DMU, or not DMU, but he should tell me either Coco or Bobo heavy locomotive available in Europe that is suitable for the Tema to Mpakadan line, based on the technical specification I'm giving him. 3,000 horsepower, 1.25 degrees cant, non-electrical line, total container length of 30 containers. That's the design specification. He should tell me, I'm ready to listen. I can give it to you on one by one. Class 59 is 3,250 horsepower. It exceeds our horsepower a little bit. Class 70 is a bi-mode train. It uses both diesel and overhead contouring system. In Ghana, do we have overhead line? Do you have electrified line? Great. Let's talk about the Euro 100 that he's speaking about. Euro 100 exceeds our power. It's about nearly 3,800 horsepower. You know, I applaud their effort. They were able to go to Wikipedia. There are 3 baselines of class 56. They were able to go to Wikipedia. I'm speaking as an industry expert, not as a somebody who went to Wikipedia, and that I have done it. I've done the design of rolling stock. I have commissioned it and I have decommissioned it, both electrical and signaling. Why class 56? Class 56 has got 3 baseline designs. The first baseline design was manufactured between 1974 and 83. That is baseline 1. Baseline 2, 84 to 1992. Baseline 2. Baseline 3 is DC rail retraction. Baseline 3 retraction, and we got baseline 3 retraction from 92 to 98. This is a remanufacturing product. It has been totally refurbished, remanufactured. Traction motors have been replaced, couplers have been replaced, wheels have been replaced, everything has been replaced. This locomotive, class 56, is in the UK being used today. So if you go to Network Rail has signed a contract with RHTT contract. That's the rail head treatment contract with Network Rail. They are using class 56. It's a 5-year contract. So the question then becomes that, you see, I want people to give me the technical justification, not just it is old. It is old. What is the function of a locomotive? To haul. What is the haul power of the horsepower or the torque of class 56? The torque value of class 56 is what I want. Can it torque up to 30 containers or 50 containers? The answer is yes, it can. All right. But because in their haste to provide a response, they quickly went to Wikipedia. All right. Select something. Oh, why
do you keep making reference to Wikipedia?
Oh, because I know that because you see, there was no technical justification in the assessment. What they provided was something that I would see a first year PhD researcher in railway engineering will go and copy and post it to you. But those of us who are in the industry will be able to testify that this is just a copy and paste. Because now you are telling me that Colas Rail signed a 5-year contract to deliver the RATT contract last year in August 2025 to August 2030 with the extension of further 4 years. And you are telling me, you're sitting down in Ghana telling me that class 56 is what we call it an old locomotive. It is not. And I am giving you the technical justification why we couldn't go for class 70. Class 70 is a bi-mode. And a bi-mode, in terms of its activity, it requires both AC and diesel for it to work. All right. You talk about class 59. The horsepower of class 59 exceeds our design parameters and technical specification by 300 horsepower. That would be too much for the line. Okay. These are the people that went to buy 2 DMUs who are parked there without any signaling. They couldn't even communicate the technical specification of the line for it to be fitted with signaling. And yet, this government, we have gone to Colas Rail, and I challenge them. They say it's a museum train. Give them the budget of 36.7 million and ask them to go to the UK market to go and acquire the same. Do the refurbishment, traction motor replacement, underframe replacement, what we call it, coupler replacement, and bring it to Ghana for a price of 36.7. I dare them. They went to buy 2 DMUs, of which one is refurbished. I know the chassis numbers, of which it came to Ghana for $164 million. cities, $14.67 million. I wouldn't buy that for that if I was a chief executive. I challenge them. So what I want to see is something for me to be get excited, but I'm not getting excited with this one because he's not even giving me any technical requirement, technical specification why class 56 is not suitable for our what we call it for Tema to Mpakadan railway line, which the design specification has been given. The good news about it is that class 56 has got open source. That means that in the future, if you want to do the signaling for Tema to Mpakadan for ETCS, we can easily connect it. Let's look at their train that they went to buy from Poland. It is closed door system for TCMS. So simply put, even if we fix the signaling, the Tema to Mpakadan line was $447 million infrastructure. The signal system worth $11.75 million is not functional. So we shuttle trains. Now, with the support with the EU, we have managed to secure a grant of $21 million with the support of my minister. If we fit that signaling, it means that for us to open source the traction control management system of the PESA train that we bought, we need to pay upward of 3.5 million euro. I challenge them for PESA to come and open their own DMU so that we can run multiple trains. Multiple trains. Once a train depart, within 2 minutes you can see another train moving. Yeah. Yes, it needs signaling.
So you mean the one they bought?
The one they bought.
It can't be used for that purpose?
My brother, it cannot. They couldn't even fit the OBC onboard computer on the train. And the train is in Ghana.
Let me take that reaction from you. Sam, Dr. Apo says, you have no justification. All the issues you raised in your statements is really not non-starter, if you want, for want of a better word.
Before I respond, let me tell him that I am a automobile engineer. And I was the chairman for Rules and Transport Committee in Parliament. I was a member for 4 years and chairman for 4 years. So I've worked with the industry. And I challenge him, all the specifications that he has made mention of, you can still order a locomotive, even if it's not brand new, a locomotive that is slightly old, but can ask to fix all the specifications. You know what they've done? The Tema Mpakadan is a standard gauge train line. And they've gone to, he mentioned they've gone to the under track. They have expanded it. It was a narrow gauge. This train that he brought was a narrow gauge train. And they have expanded the base so that it can run on a standard gauge track. I challenge him, keep this interview that we are doing today. This train will not last
please stop,
even 3 to 5 years.
Stop.
Because allow him to make his point.
He said we went for a visit. Not for a visit. We went there, wanted to order, and we saw other countries like Senegal, other countries like Nigeria have gone to order tracks, locomotive that can just also carry goods or container as they have brought in this country. All what we have said is that they should have gone in for a new, if not brand new, something that is close to new, that can test fit test of time for us to benefit from it as a country. What they have brought, I insist, that is an outmoded train. They have just done a business as we did with Metro Mass when these Avico buses were brought in, and it didn't help. So this one is also not going to help. It is not true that what was not having the signal. If the signal is not working, maybe, but when we brought it in, it was signal. He was just trying to compare because of the accident that he had. It is not true. What we are seeing is that what they have brought is an outmoded train, and if any country is using it, they are using it because they bought it long time ago, and they are still using it. If we are going in for a train, how do you then tell me that we pay Tema Mpakadan without having in mind the type of rolling stock that we are going to use on the train? Before you even construct a rail line, you must have in mind the type of rolling stock that you use on the train. So I still insist that this train that is brought in is outmoded. It's not fit for purpose, and it will not even last for more than 3 years.
It won't last for 3 years.
No.
First of all,
this interview.
Let me burst the bubble of this honourable member, ex-honourable member of Parliament. There is no narrow gauge in Britain. That also shows the lack of expertise. There is no narrow gauge in Britain. There's none. Britain runs on standard gauge railway, so that's point number one. It just says that. That's why I'm just trying to say that at the moment, you see, it is never true. Number one, it's a cocoa diesel. All right, class 56 is a cocoa diesel. UK doesn't operate on a narrow gauge, so how can we go and change retraction of the underframe? Does not mean that you are changing the underframe from narrow gauge to a standard gauge. No, it's not like that. You see, the most important thing here is that you have raised issues, and I'm speaking. You are talking about your experience. I've been in the railway industry for over 16 years, of which this is what I've been doing for over 16 years. And here you are making an argument. Please keep the interview and people will laugh at it. Industry expert. UK doesn't operate on a narrow gauge. And how can you change a narrow gauge? No, UK operate on a standard gauge railway line. That's the point of correction. Point number two, you are saying it's unmolded. How can the class 56 is the first of the diesel cocoa heavy electric train? The function is one and only: pull power to move stuff. It is not here. It is not there to provide you air conditioning or provide you all the romantic stuff that you need from a passenger DMU. No, the function, the functional requirement of a DMU, passenger DMU, is to move people. The functional requirement of what we call it a heavy locomotive is to pull the stuff. He's saying that it will not last 3 years. I hope so. But at the moment, as a chief executive of Ghana Railway Authority, I want to assure him, this locomotive will be operating 15 years from now. Because at the moment, the asset retraction has been done. The traction motors have been replaced. The V16 engine capacity has all been done up. The good news is that it is not a 1970 train. They didn't, that's what I'll tell you, they went to Wikipedia. They look at class 56. The first batch,
if it's not 1976, as they are saying, which year it is?
No, it is not 1970. No, it's not 19. That's what I'm saying.
So which year?
We have three baselines.
Which year is this?
We have three baselines. Baseline 1 is from 1974 to 1983. Baseline 2, 84 to 92. And baseline 3, the one that Ghana has acquired, is from 93 to 1998. The baseline,
so 93 to
yes,
98. That's the baseline.
Yeah,
that's the one we acquired.
Yes. So the baseline, and look at this. In 2010, what we call it, Colas Rail retooled the entirety of what Colas Rail retooled the entirety of baseline 3, and retooled the entirety of baseline 3 again in 2018. So the fundamental element here is that what are the functions? What is the function of a locomotive? We have tested it here on Tematu Pakadan, pulling over 20 containers. We have done head, and we have done coal. And he keeps on using Senegal. And I keep asking myself, Senegal is using, they have electrified lines. So they are using EMUs, electrical multiple unit. Electrical multiple unit is not the same as Tematu Pakadan, which is a non-electrified line. So the most important facts here is that everything that he stated is just a bunch of lies.
But Doc, if you say the baseline,
there is no body shell.
Hold on. If you say 93 to 98,
yes,
that's the third baseline.
Yes, baseline.
Okay.
What do you understand by the baseline? That's the first question you have to ask me about it.
You tell me.
Yes.
Because that was the question I'm going to ask you. So if you say 93, 98 baseline,
yes,
it means what?
It means that basically, in terms of when Brush was doing it, in terms of the design requirement, that is where they set the platform for the base design. So in terms of the wheel design, the integrity, the structure impact, also looking at, most important, the traction motor selection, what they are going to use for it. These are the stuff that it calls about baseline. So for baseline 1 is the basic one. Baseline 2 is an upgrade of baseline 1. Baseline 3 is further upgrade of baseline 2. This is just to improve the power output to reach the 3,000 horsepower that is needed to haul much more goods. So the fact of the matter here is that I'm not here, you see, and he made mention that we have changed the baseline, the underframe from narrow gauge. UK ceased operating narrow gauge as far as back in the 1980s. They don't use narrow gauge anymore. So on what basis is he using this as a justification? There isn't any narrow gauge in Britain. Okay, so this idea that UK has got a narrow gauge is not here or there. If they had given me a technical justification, axial tone load. What is the axial tone load of Tema to Mpakanan? That's what you have to ask him. It's 21 tones. Now, I'm challenging him. He should tell me. He has got Wikipedia. He's got whatever. He should tell me which asset, which what we call it, diesel or possibly diesel electric locomotive in Britain has the axial load of 21 tons, 3,000 horsepower, and most important, a count of 1.25. I'll give him all degrees. I'm giving him all the time. And I'm giving him, he should use social media or Wikipedia or whatever to check it. What I'm just trying to say is that it is important for engineers, especially people who are in the industry, to separate sentiment. And I don't want to go there. Sentiment from technical justification.
So the ones that you've bought, this
Yes.
one that you displayed. So it's for cargo or passenger?
It's for cargo.
It's for cargo.
Yes, it's for cargo train. This is a cargo train where a cargo locomotive. If you use the train, it confuses some people. And they keep saying DMU, DMU, DMU. And when you go to social media, some people are, and I'll just say this is also lack of public education. Some people will just take a picture of EMU, electrical multiple unit, the design, the top design. He's talking about what they acquire. Let me tell you the power of the Class 56. Class 56 the power output is nearly 3.5 times that of the DMU that they went to buy, the passenger DMU. Simply put, you cannot use, if the watt kicks in, you cannot use this for movement of people. You kill them on the Tema to Mpakanan line. It will throw them away because of the share count. So you need the load, the base load for that. So the fact of the matter is that for Tema to Mpakanan railway line, in terms of the design specification for the locomotive, we have selected the right one in terms of the axial tone load, in terms of the configuration, in terms of also power output, and most important, that this is not meant for passenger. Anybody that thinks that Class 56 is meant for passenger, number one, doesn't know the industry, number two, has got no expertise about what we are actually, the functionality of Class 56.
Okay, let me go to Sam. Sam, in your statement, you are asking government to explain a few points, and you say that you want government to tell you the long-term spare parts arrangement and that has been secured on this locomotive. You're also asking whether a strategic stock of critical components have been acquired. Exactly what do you mean?
Yeah, as I said, this because of the age of this engine, it will be very difficult for us to get spare parts so that we can keep it running. That's why I said within 3 years, if you don't take time, we are going to park this engine. It is because availability of spare parts to maintain this engine on the lines will be very difficult. He made mention of migrating from narrow gauge into standard gauge. Yes, they did so many years ago. So those trains that were not able to expand the base from narrow to standard are those that they have packed. That is what we're going to take and then refurbish to expand the base and use it on our tracks. All what I'm saying is that we can still get a new train with all these specifications that he has mentioned. We can get them. Just give your specification to the manufacturer. If you have the money to pay, the manufacturer will build to your specification. I want to find out from him, those that are using the new trains with those specifications that he has mentioned, where did they get it from? They order it. They give their specification looking at the lines that we have. Tema in Pakadam. Then you give them the rolling stock that can run on that line by giving them the specification. What I'm saying is that instead of going for this old one, we can look at the old one that we think it fits on our line, give them the specification for them to build new ones for us. As simple as that. It is possible. If it is not possible to build a new train with all these specifications, then of course we can go for this old one. But what we are saying is that there are manufacturers that can still build a new train with all those specifications that he has mentioned. That is my point. So why can't we go for that? But we decided to go for this new one, these old ones. That will not help us. Well, for me, I'm the view that we should have gone in for a new, how do you call it, engine, or one that is slightly used, than going for this one that has been packed for years to go and refurbish it and put it on our lines. Are we going to get spare parts for them for the train? That is the one most important question
Sam,
that we are all asking.
Thank you.
Number one, class 56, 302 was never packed. They were in service as of last year. Class 56, 94 was never packed. They were in service as of last year. So this is the fact. Even this year, 94 was in use, was in service. The fact of the matter is, he made mention that are we going to get spare parts? The answer is yes. We have something called obsolescence management for spare parts. Nobody go and buy that. I can assure the general public, especially Ghanaians, that yes, spare parts availability are there. Even they told us we have up to 6 to 8 months spare parts provided. Before the train was even shipped to Ghana, we have also got 5-year supply chain, 5-year maintenance supply with collars. You see, the problem here is that class 56 is still in use in Britain. And he just mentioned that class 56 was designed for a narrow gauge. It was never. I challenge him. It was technically never designed. Even the 1974 that they are making a load into was never designed for a narrow gauge. It was designed for a standard gauge railway line. So that's point of correction. Number two, he also says that okay, we could have taken the specification. His Excellency President Mahama's government, through his able minister, Minister for Transport, okay, Honorable Joseph Nipe Bukari, through his directive, we procured 2 locomotives, engine, and 20 wagons for 36.70 million Ghana cedis, $3.1 million US. And I challenge anybody, especially on the other side, or within or outside of the government, to go to the UK market today to procure what we have procured without any established contact, without any established relationship, that they'll be able to get class 56 for the same amount. And that class 56 is packed somewhere. It wasn't packed somewhere. The class 56 wasn't packed somewhere. Even if you look at the RHTT contract, the 2 units that were in service for the first RHTT contract from August to December were class 56 302 and class 56 94.
Okay.
So this fundamental element that, oh, we didn't buy spare parts. How are you going to get spare parts? No. You went to buy a train for 164 million
okay.
cedis. Please. 164 million cedis. We went to buy 2 locomotives and 20 wagons for a total of 36.7 million, of which we signed our offtake agreement today. Okay, for us to be able to earn revenue and what we call sustain the passenger service. So therefore, what I'm saying is,
so for you save the country a lot of money.
It's not about saving a lot of money. I want them to give me the technical justification. You see, technical justification is not about polishing words like it's an old train, it's an old this, it's an old that. No, give me the technical justification as to why class 56 which is already currently operating in Britain, undertaking the RATT contract in Britain today, is not fit to run on our Tema to Impakanan of the same specification.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Samuel Attah, I'll say a big thank you for your time as well, Dr. Paul.
Thank you very much. Just before you go, I want him to understand that anytime you are buying, whether being a vehicle or a locomotive, whatever, don't only look at the initial cost. When you do proper cost analysis, you can get a cheaper, locomotive today, but cost of operations will be so high, so much that within the next 5 years, it will be more expensive than buying a new one. So when going for such locomotive, all these factors must be put in place.
Okay.
Look at cost of operation.
Okay,
because
Sam, thank you.
The cost will be so high that within the next 3-5 years, you will spend more in maintaining it than buying.
Samuel Attah, thank you very much. Samuel Attah is a former member of parliament for the Ayesu constituency, a member of the MPP Transport Committee of Parliament. Dog, we are running out of time. In 30 seconds, just 30 seconds.
You see,
get closer to the mic.
He made mention about
30 seconds.
Yes, class 56 is amongst the cheapest in terms of whole life cycle cost and maintenance cost for all the other Cocoa or Bobo heavy locomotives operating in Europe. Check his facts in terms of operational costs, maintenance support, fuel consumption. So in terms of operational costs, whatever he said there is basically, I disagree with him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard
Frederick Apple.
Frederick Apple is the CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, joining us on some development within the sector. But before you go, someone has asked me to ask you, your workers, have you paid them?
Which workers?
The railway workers.
Ghana Railway Company Limited. Ghana Railway Company Limited. We are left with their last payment, which is with the controller. I'm checking up to make sure that.
How many months are we talking about here?
At the moment it's roughly about 10 months. 10 months. Yes.
And you are hoping to clear all?
Yes, we are going to clear. Yes, we are going to clear most of them. Yes.
Most of them, means not all.
We are going to clear everything because at the moment we are looking at restructuring the Ministry of Transport from a policy directive. So once that is done, the rest will join us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Frederick Apple is the CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. Number is 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996. Ejubi Afiakente is here to give us the latest in the world of news. Ejubi.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has indefinitely postponed its planned strike, which was scheduled to commence today, July 6th. The industrial action was intended to protest concerns over members' conditions of service. However, the association says the government has made concrete efforts to address its grievances. Speaking to Citi News, General Secretary of UTAG UG Chapter, Dr. Joe Harrison, said the association will proceed with the strike if government fails the commitments.
There are commitments on the side of government to resolve, the issue that we raised. Some of the issues that we raised regarding our continuous service have been settled. Government has written, letters to that effect, and some documents have been signed, which commits government to solving, the problem. And so we have decided to postpone the start date of the strike, pending concrete actions from government. We are hoping that we can bring finality to the issues as has been promised. We are only postponing the start date because many a time we engage government on these issues, agreements are reached, some documents are signed, and they never get implemented. And so we are acting in good faith by postponing the start date of the strike. If these documents that need to be submitted, if these implementations don't go as planned, we will definitely revisit, this matter.
Dr. Harrison also described as unwarranted comments made by the former Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, that some university degree programs, including development studies, are necessary.
It is rather an unfortunate statement, and for the former Minister of Education to suggest that some university degrees are useless really is pathetic, to say the least. I think that we should not reduce university education to merely training people for the job market. So the purpose of a university education, let me emphasize once again, is not to necessarily produce students for the job market. It is to train students who are adaptable to every situation because they can reason, they go through critical thinking, they can think on their feet, and they can be molded to do any job that is available. That is the whole essence of university education.
You heard General Secretary of the University of Ghana chapter of UTAG, Dr. Joe Harrison. The Institute for Education Studies, IFEST, has called on the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, to engage tertiary institutions over fees charged for distance learning programs. The call follows concerns raised by Parliament's Education Committee over what it describes as the high cost of some distance education programs. IFES Deputy Director Patrick Appiah-Dankwa warned that the high cost of running distance learning programs could force some institutions to discontinue them.
The government bodies in charge of education, GTEC, should try as much as possible, meet the university committee. They should have a discussion and see how they can roll out these programs. Because if they don't engage them, what will happen is that the concentration will just be on high cost. Then the schools will say, okay, if that's what we are putting up to us, then we may as well not run the program because it's proven quite expensive for us to engage our lecturers at premium times to handle it. It may also be the case that they are taking advantage of the fact that they are workers, so they should have money to pay. But the most important thing that should be noted is that it is being held as a premium service, considering the hours for which they are engaged, which is a weekend and also between 5 and 8.
He added that unlike regular programs, most distance learning programs receive little or no government funding, a situation he believes contributes to the higher fees being charged by universities.
The universities do not receive any funding for the distance programs. It's wholly funded by the fees that they get. They don't receive funding for these distance programs. They usually receive subventions and funding from government for the mainstream program. So all the cost that is borne by the school is covered by the money that they receive. So if you want to put in a case for them, they will need to consider the fact that they don't receive any government subventions or government monies for the weekend programs. One other thing that we have to also look at is that with the regular period, there are some classes in the University of Ghana, for example, you can take a typical philosophy class where you can have over 600 students in a class. But because one lecturer takes them for that period, but you can have a distance class where you have, let's say, about 50 students. But you see, it's still contact hours. So though one teacher during the main stream is taking about 600 students, you can't say you are doing the number to the teacher. Is you have to consider the quality of time and hours that is being used.
Patrick Appiah-Dankwa is the Deputy Director for the Institute for Education Studies, IFEST. Now, the Ketu South Municipal Assembly has confirmed that it has received relief items for distribution to residents affected by last Monday's flooding. The heavy downpour inundated homes, farmlands and public infrastructure, with several communities reporting extensive damage. More than 4,000 people were affected, including over 2,000 households impacted by the torrential rainfall. The Assembly said the relief items are yet to be distributed to affected residents within the municipality.
Thank you very much, Ajibi, for that latest news update. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. You can join the conversation because later on we bring you Talk Back, where we bring you the views and opinions you express on the stories we bring you tonight on Eyewitness. You can join that segment with your WhatsApp messages. The number to send it to is 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, Israel Kojo Safo Akofuna has been confirmed as the successor to the Kantanka Empire following the reading of the will of the late Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo Kantanka at the High Court.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Looking for engineering excellence you can trust? Welcome to Left Signature Limited, driving progress through technology and engineering excellence. From expert electrical engineering design, installation, power systems, renewable energy, automation and control, to reliable data center and managed services, power infrastructure, network connectivity, server virtualization, cloud integration and data security, and cutting-edge software development, custom business applications, web and mobile apps, cloud and DevOps solutions. Integrity, safety, accountability, teamwork. That's the Left Signature promise. And now, introducing the Left Power app. Request for our services anytime, anywhere. Available on the Play Store, App Store, and on the web. Ready to power your success? Choose Left Signature Limited. Visit www.leftsignature.com. Call +233 256 111 811. Left Signature Limited. Engineering excellence for a connected future.
Hello, good afternoon. I am calling from your bank. We are currently experiencing a system downtime, so we need to secure your account. Please, can you confirm your account number and your login details so we can restore access immediately? Yes, your username and password, just to verify.
Beware of fraudsters. Your bank will never ask for your login details, PIN or password over the phone. Shine your eye. Spot the fraud. Stop the fraud. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
If you spot the fraud, you will fit to stop the fraud. Make you know they lose God.
Ufi betumi adani baby a upebia. Betumi adani stadium. What a strike! Enough acquire your book TV and the computer game. Aha! Yanko! Atoda! Ebetumi adani classroom.
Madam, me patro menti ase.
Yo, yen samfa subio. Ni ewo he na wonti ase no.
Nini na.
Ebetumi adani office.
Aha, orders no ahe na ye ready. Okay, mundi kan fanko East Legon.
Ebetumi po, eswa ye fa ko a, ye nhwehwemu wo.
Daddy, e dia na big bang theory.
Chain, mami busa chat GPT.
Ubetumi amofie adani baby a opese eyibia efise emfa ho ni ne opese oye wo fie MTN fiber betumi aboa amwoye na 500 Mbps unlimited internet and the one no form a free 299 Ghana cedis echo for MTN fiber bro fie ana waduma mu ede for my MTN app no so ana say star 5057 hash what check fiber availability no so ana say number e wo je no na receive fiber broadband our baby Otinwa, not Toby and
You know that feeling. A hospital bill that arrives out of nowhere. A diagnosis you weren't prepared for. A system that seems designed to confuse you and costs that keep climbing. And the stress of not knowing if you are protected. Eden isn't lost. Eden Care was created to give it back to you. Eden Care is health insurance made for everyday family life. With Eden Care, getting health care is easy and you are backed by a trusted insurance partner with years of experience. No confusing terms, just complete protection for your entire family. Step back into peace. Step into experience you can rely on. Reach out right now at 059-692-1844 and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care is brought to you by Acacia Health Insurance, a member of the Enterprise Group.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Remember, Eyewitness News is also live on our affiliates across the country. In the Western region, we are live on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bono region, we are live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. And in the Ahafo region, we are live on Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, hear us on Alpha Radio 104.9 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are live on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adaklo. In the Northern region, we are live on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, we are live on Western Link 88.1 FM in Lora and Popoli 92.7 FM in Wa. In the Upper East region, hear us on Source 100.1 FM in Boko and Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo. And in Northeast region, we are live on Scab 101.3 FM in Nankpaduri. You can also join the conversation with your WhatsApp message, because later on we bring you Talk Back, where the views and opinions you express on the stories we bring you tonight on Eyewitness News will be read out. The number to send your WhatsApp messages to is 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996. Let's talk football and the Black Stars. Yes, aware the Black Stars of Ghana are out of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is taking place in America, Canada, and Mexico. On Saturday, there was the expectation of many Ghanaians that the Black Stars will win that match against Colombia, but unfortunately, were defeated, or the team was defeated by a goal to nil, bringing us out of the competition. Many people have expressed quite a number of views on what really went wrong in respect of that particular match. Let's speak to someone who has been with the team, was with the team, and has been in the US since the start of the tournament, Godfred Akoto-Boafo, to give us some understanding, first of all, on the reactions from the players at the camp and the future of the Black Stars. Godfred, thank you very much. And how is the USA after the exit of the Black Stars of Ghana?
Well, I think it's quiet. There isn't much to do. A couple of players taking some time off. I think putting things together. Some will go on holiday, some will come back home. So I think it's just the logistical facilitation, and then the team gets on their flight and get back home.
So they've not left as you speak, or they have left?
They haven't left as I know it as we speak. Yeah.
Godfred, let's talk about the game. Going into this match, a lot of people were confident that at least the performance against Panama, against England, and against Croatia, at least something good was going to come out of it. And it turned out the opposite.
Well, I guess maybe the expectation changed because a week before the start of the tournament, I don't think there was anybody who was going to think that Ghana was getting out of the group. Honestly speaking, everybody was assuming it was going to be one of those poor performances. So I think as the team performed at a certain level, everybody's hopes went up. Unfortunately, the time that the hope was at its peak is when we played Colombia, and that hope quickly evaporated in the loss. I think, realistically speaking, the team hits its zenith in that round. I think perhaps could things have been better tactically? I think yes, for that game. A varied approach perhaps could have helped the team put up more of a fight than what we saw on TV, which is where I guess the frustration for those who watched the game is coming from. And even for those who were at the stadium, for us, it was like, can we see some more fight? Can we see some more fight? But all in all, once you sit back, the emotions drain, and you get back to earth, you realize that, hey, maybe the team was not at the point where it could beat a Colombia in the knockout stage of the World Cup.
Let's remain on the subject of the tactics, as you mentioned. Godfred, what really went wrong? Is it that we didn't get our acts well? We didn't get it right?
Well, I think that I know in the build-up to some of the games we had spoken, you and I had spoken, and we had mentioned the fact that the coach is who he is. He's never changed who he is in 40 years of coaching. So it wasn't going to be too much of a change. Perhaps the expectation was that he would look to hit Colombia later on in the game. Unfortunately, he conceded very early, and that was always going to be a problem for a coach who coaches from the back rather than from the front. Also, didn't help that the expectation of seeing some more offensive-minded players didn't happen. He stuck to the group that he had always used. It looked like he was working with a group of about 14 or 15 players. So we saw Elisha also come in, we saw Nuyama come in, we saw Prince Kwabnedu also come in. People were expecting to see a lot more than that, but he decided that it was a small group that he was going to work with. Unfortunately, it didn't work out well.
Godfred, looking at the players who played on Saturday in that match, many people have asked questions like players like Thomas Asante and the people who had the fire to push the game didn't feature. A defender like Ajete, which many people thought that did so well against England, was also missing in this match. And they believe that if they were included, at least there could have been some different results than as recorded. Is that your thinking as well?
Perhaps. I mean, there's no certainty when it comes to football. Perhaps they would have given us a more offensive outlook. Perhaps would have looked better than we did in large parts of that game, because we did not look good at all in most parts of the game. But that being said, the coach had made the decisions that had led to the team qualifying. How are you going to question those decisions that he was making again at that point? So he made a choice that this is how he was going to play. Unfortunately, we are now seeing that maybe would have stood a bit of a chance if he had decided to play a different way. But in the end, it was his decision to make, and we are out.
Godfrey, just hold on. Jerome is also joining us to take us. Jerome, before the start of the tournament, I understand very well. I know that we had a number of conversations about this team, and you told us, and you told me that we shouldn't expect, anything magic from the Black Stars. It looks like your prediction and what you said was going to happen has happened after the match against Colombia.
Yeah, first of all, greetings to Godfrey. I haven't seen him in a while. Yes, I remember telling you, and it wasn't because I was unpatriotic. In fact, I was just cautious because, as I told you then, the Black Stars I have seen in the last 6 to 7 years haven't been anywhere close to the Black Stars I saw, let's say, 15 years ago. And that told me that, look, given the circumstances the team prepared, given how the team, and generally speaking, our football has been run, there wasn't anything to expect. I remember saying on your network too that if there was any hope at all, it would be dependent on what the coach does. And I think we saw it especially in the game against England. But beyond that, it was going to be very difficult. And I wasn't surprised anyway, because I knew that, even if we make it out of the group to the round of 32 stage, that could be our last stop. And it happened as some of us expected.
Jerome, let's look at the future. Many people have argued that at least Carlos, our coach, has brought some stability to the team. And so let's keep this core group of people, and then whichever coach that comes in can also build on it. You think we should maintain this crop of players, or we should take some out and bring in fresh players who can add to the already existing ones?
You see, your question is a very valid question, and whatever people are saying, there's some validity. My fear, however, is that I don't trust the Football Association to do any good job. And that underpins a lot of my criticism of our football these days. I don't trust them. I think that they have mismanaged the game. They continue to mismanage it. They have more or less micromanaged things that they should leave to experts. And by experts, I mean the people they appoint to do the job, especially coaching of the Black Stars. Our bane in the last few years has been because they left the job. They told us they have appointed people who were working, but they were micromanaging things. And on the broader scale, on a bigger scale, you are going to be exposed. At the international level, those who are performing are doing things completely different from the way we have approached it. And it is always going to come to this point that we will underperform. Check the last 6-7 years. Any of the competitions the Black Stars have participated, and tell me how different it has been from this one. It's the same trajectory of high expectations, as if they don't know that they've done a poor job. They raise hopes. We go in there, and because we are Ghanaians and we love our team and we love our football, we don't have a choice. Some way, somehow, we rally around the team, only to be disappointed in the end. And it is because of the consistent mismanagement of the game, and until something dramatic changes. Look, the Ket administration is going to spend their 8th year in office next year. Tell me the most important thing they have done to our football, which you can really stand on and say, because of this, something is going to change. I don't see what is going to change, because I can bet you that whoever is appointed as the next coach, there is going to be some dismantling, and we'll have to restart or rebuild again. That inconsistency is partly why we are here, and I put the blame squarely on the Football Association. Maybe to a large extent, when it comes to the Black Stars, the government, because I think in the mismanagement of the Black Stars, the government is complicit, and I don't think anything is going to change.
General, well, if you say micromanagement, is it about player selection or player collapse? That is the micromanagement here. Is it that the coach is unable to call the players that he wants to play for the team, and there's some external hand somewhere that is rather doing the player selection for matches or the player collapse?
I mean, this is open secret. Previously, it was clearly about having an undue influence in who plays for the team. Seki Akuno said it, and it was like we didn't know, but we knew, because the FA president made that clear from the start of his administration that he will not allow coaches to decide alone, or they will not be those who decide who should be in the team. They will have an influence. And I mean, I've checked throughout the world where serious football is played. No FA president does that. Even if they do that, they don't make it open. I mean, they don't tell the whole world, you know. That smacks of some amateurish way of doing things. And it is why we are here. Look, you asked Godfred about Brandon, and Godfred gave a perfect answer. There's not going to be any certainty. But doesn't it surprise, I mean, anybody following the team, that if you have players who truly have fared well in their European spaces and they come to the national team, they are given the chance to play, even if we know that there's no certainty that they will replicate the sort of performance we have seen them, put out there. Because talk of Semenyo, we see what he's doing or what he did at Man City. But can we confidently say that he gave us a taste of that during the World Cup? So there's no certainty. But when players are called and for very inexplicable reasons they are not used, you open the conversation to a lot of speculation. You know, I don't think that in the previous administration we experienced these things to the level we have seen it these times. So the micromanaging I'm talking about, it's about what they have said they will do, and the evidence so far clearly points to that. And when you have told me what you have conceived, and on the field of play I see it at play, I don't need any further evidence that you are mismanaging the game and indeed carrying out what you said. The problem with Ghana football under the last 7 years is that Hetokreku has been a disaster, and we should make it clear. You know, sometimes it becomes as if some of the things they are doing, we've not seen them before. But look, AFCON, Ghana has played in the AFCON consistently over the years. Some of our worst performances in recent memory has been sometimes a semi-final. But today we cannot qualify. How do you convince me that we are under a good administration when you cannot qualify for the AFCON? How is it possible that a team that on 2 occasions in the last 10, 15 years made it to the AFCON final today cannot win a game at the AFCON? And it's not as if we are playing any super opponents. We are playing opponents that previously would have demolished them. There is something fundamentally wrong with the way football is being run in Ghana, and we must be confident enough to tell the Football Association that they are failing. I don't have any apology for saying some of these things because the evidence is overwhelming. The Black Stars used to make Ghanaians proud, even if they were not winning tournaments. But today, except for the last World Cup and this current one, how many competitive matches have they won? At the AFCON, they cannot win. That is a problem. If you cannot win at the AFCON, I'm afraid you can't win the tournament. Because previously I told you that much as our defensive approach was good, you need to score to win. You need to score to win. And we need to look at how structurally our football is positioned. Is it capable of competing with some of the best teams in the world? The answer is no. Look, I spent hours watching Cape Verde versus Argentina, and I was shocked.
Excellent game.
I was shocked.
Excellent game by
I
all
was shocked
standard.
at the level of competition. But this Cape Verde team, some years ago, who would have thought that Argentina will score against Cape Verde and Cape Verde will equalize? Who would have thought? And throw the game to extra time? Who would have thought? But today, the game has changed so well, not merely because countries have the best of players, but also because they have the best of administrators who are doing things that are improving the game. Unfortunately, back home, whatever we are doing is impoverishing the game, and we should be confident enough to tell them.
Let me bring Godfred here. Godfred, I was heartbroken when I read that love letter from Coach Carlos Queiroz announcing his departure. I felt that at least he's brought some stability to the team, and for the long-term goal, he was going to be able to build the Black Stars for the Black Stars to be the formidable Black Stars we knew some 10 years ago. And many Ghanaians also expected that he was going to stay. Were you surprised that he announced that he was leaving, even though it was a short-term contract?
Yeah, I am rather surprised. People are surprised that the coach would want to leave at the end of the contract that he signed. I think there's a reason why he signed a 4-month contract. At the time, he was at the time that they were looking to hire a coach. He was perhaps the only one who was willing to sign that short-term contract. Most of the candidates were looking for 2-year contracts. So I am pretty sure in his mind he was very clear that this was a job that he wanted to do only on the short term. I do agree, however, that what he has done is to give. If we had forgotten. And by that, I share Jerome's sentiments. The Football Association had forgotten what a world-class coach looks like when he is working. At least Carlos Queiroz has given us an indication that you don't need 1 year to let people understand what you're doing. A lot of people might have disliked his style of play because he was overly defensive. But the point is that in 40 days, he got a team that had not played even 5 games with.
Yeah.
Played in a certain way, and they did not deviate from it. The tactical discipline was there. I am sure there were times one could sense the frustration from Semenyo that he wants to do something different, but he stuck with the plan, and that is important. There was a certain sense of unity, a certain sense of purpose that the players amongst themselves had that can be credited to the work that Carlos Queiroz has done. So even if he's not staying, I think that he has given us an example of what it feels like to have somebody who knows what he's doing, somebody who is respected, somebody who has a respect for detail and authority in what he's doing. And going forward, that might be, we don't need a Carlos Queiroz clone, but what we need is somebody who falls in the same category of what he has been able to achieve. Let us not go back to the point where we are always looking for somebody who is trying to find himself. I think the biggest fault with Otto Addo and the period that we spent with him was he was a coach who was also trying to find his identity. Until we hired Otto Addo as coach, he had not coached anywhere to form an identity. So he was using the national team to figure it out. And so we had the mess that we had. So maybe going forward, we now know what it looks like. And that can be built on. Do I want Carlos Queiroz to stay? Personally, I say no. I just think that because he has proven that he wants to do things tactically in a certain way. I think that just generally we have a very offensive generation of players for whom this might not be the best. But I think for the period that we hired him, what he was brought in to do was to fix a team that was conceding a lot of goals, that was embarrassing itself. Before he took over, the team had conceded 7 goals in his last 2 games. That was a big problem. By the time he was done, the team was conceding very few. So I think he has left a platform that we can build on, but I am not surprised that at the end of August, I don't know whether this is indeed his resignation, but the expectation is that when his contract actually runs out in August, he will go back home and enjoy his holidays.
And with what he has built, as you mentioned, you think the replacement should be the same match or someone higher than him?
Well, it depends on what we are trying to do. And that is also linked to the point Jerome made. You see, the person must work in an environment where the person knows that he's in charge, and the person can use that environment to implement his ideas for the team. Without that, you can bring Pep Guardiola. He will still struggle with the team. I think there's a role for the government, as always, to play in providing the infrastructure, in providing that enabling environment, the Football Association as well, in doing that. Without it, we will still be doing the same things over and over again, and we will not have the kind of success that we are looking for.
Jerome, I come to you now. Now he's left. Carlos has left. There's a hand for a replacement, a new coach for the Black Stars. You feel we should find a replacement as soon as possible, or we should give ourselves some time, maybe 2, 3, 4 months before we can get a replacement?
I have to be sure or check when we get the Black Stars to play, especially in the next AFCON qualifiers. I
think they are playing in the next 2 months.
Yeah, so what it means is that we don't have time.
We don't have time, yeah.
Yes, we don't have time. I mean, it was clear to us that the coach will not stay after the tournament because that was the contract he was given, and that's why I share Godfrey's sentiments that he's surprised. People are surprised that the man will leave. That was the arrangement. But you see, it speaks to some of the problems I have with the FA. If you track the coaches they have appointed, the terms they have given them, it has always been a short-term approach. Yes, I said this somewhere, and somebody reminded me that Otto Addo was given 3 years. But you see, I often don't want to talk about Otto Addo because he was a non-starter from the beginning. Because the very requirements they set for the appointment of the next Black Stars coach then, Otto Addo didn't meet any of them. How they ended up with him reinforces my position that they are mismanaging the game, because no corporate entity sets up requirement for an appointment of, let's say, a top official, and those requirements are made public. Everybody knows, so that the person is appointed will check against his record, and we see that he doesn't meet any of them. How do you run an organization like that? So it's important they put their acts together quickly and find out who next will be coaching the team. And again, I side with Godfrey when he says that Carlos has shown us what we should do, the kind of person we should have. I think we can go below the sort of standard he's set. Someone who can quickly organize the team and get us playing to win. Look, the Black Stars must get back to winning and winning well. Otherwise, competitively, we're going to struggle because the other teams are doing it. The sort of football others are playing, we have not yet reached there under this administration. Previously, we were there. I mean, something very ugly happened to our football in 2018, and it threw everything into shambles. The reorganization has been dotted with a lot of conflict of interest, selfish interest, a lot of money being pumped in, but you can't see the impact it is making. We need to look at all these things and ensure that we will get back on track. Unfortunately, I mean, as I told you from the beginning, I don't have so much confidence because the people in charge keep making the same mistakes after every competition. I mean, they gave us Carlos. I thought that was good. I mean, on the back of the evidence we have seen at the World Cup, if they can improve on that, maybe this long tail of Black Stars underperformance and all the disappointment and mismanagement will end. If not, we'll be back to square one, or is it zero?
John, finally, before I let you go, his love letter to us, there was this quote in it, which I wish you could explain to Ghanaians. He says, the future of the Black Stars will not be built only on the pitch, but success must start off the field by creating the best possible environment to prepare, protect, and develop Ghana's extraordinary football talents. Exactly what was he trying to say?
I wish I was in his mind to think exactly what he means. But you see, he puts a few things in context for me, which is that we need to get things done properly outside the field of play. Look, football is played on the field. All of us see it. But the sort of organization that goes on outside the field of play is what determines what footballers do on the field of play. When South Africa were traveling to the World Cup and there were issues with their officials and visa and all that, people started talking. Why were they talking? Because they knew that if you get those basic organizational issues wrong, it is going to impact performance on the field of play. I mean, I don't think Iran were going to do anything good at the World Cup, but Iran have been complaining about how they had to shuttle between Mexico and the US to be playing because organization-wise, things were not, easy for them because of politics and all those issues surrounding them. The point is that we must get things done rightly off the field. Carlos may not want to be specific, but we know that organization-wise, things are not on. Things are not wrong. There's still reason to believe that we are not getting the right things done, and we need to look at those things done properly.
Jerome, thank you very much for your time. Godfred, I also want to find out from you, what do you think Carlos was trying to put across?
No, I think what puts across is what everybody who cares about Ghana football the past 10 years or so has said: provide an enabling environment. The talent, everybody shows up for the event, which is the World Cup or the AFCON, and that is fine. You don't expect the whole country to be die-hard football fans who are interested in coast football or juvenile football like I am. But the message that he is passing is that those are the places that the work must be done, so that when that talent develops properly and it gets to the top where everybody is interested in the event, there will be no disappointment because they will see the best of the best at the event. So that is what must be done. Fix the youth teams, fix the infrastructure, bring Pam Pam to a world-class level, bring the Winneba Sports College to a world-class level. Environments where players can thrive. When they go there, they know that they are thinking only about football and that they have the best of everything. They have the best pitches, they have the best trainers, physically, mentally, spiritually. Everything that they need is available. I think that is what he was alluding to. Without that, we'll show up at every other tournament thinking that we're going to do well, and they will not happen for us.
Godfrey, thank you very much for your time. Jerome,
a pleasure,
thank you too. Jerome Ochre, sports analyst, Godfrey Akotoboa for one of our own here at Citi FM and Channel 1 Television. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Now, story just coming in indicates that Israel Kojo Safo Akofuna has been confirmed as the successor to the Kantanka Empire following the reading of a will of the late Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo Kantanka at the High Court. The confirmation came today after the late founder's will was officially read, bringing clarity to the leadership succession of the Christo Asafo Mission and the Kantanka Empire. In the short, I will speak to the lawyer for the church on this development and ask if indeed this brings to a finality the issue over who succeeds the late Dr. Apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka and the issue relating to Sarah Joasafo, former member of parliament for the Dom Kwabinya constituency, and the issue with his brother. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you City Business News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Everybody they sell, but your shop they empty.
Where's my report?
Bro, month no end yet too. But see, your pocket stop they take. Another emergency for the house?
Come me get ideas. Ideas go kill them.
Another idea, another mark time. No capital to start. For some people, this silence no be peaceful. It be money matter.
With bills, there's no need for silence. From my emergency loans to salary loans to working capital loans and startup loans, bills has you covered.
Apply with your Ghana card today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390. Bills, financing your needs. T's and C's apply.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapade doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master plan gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands. The Ejapade they will be proud of. Visit woodlands.deftracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208 732 302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
Deftraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep. Charlie, I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. One more day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure see you they pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, more day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah, motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo Day.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Indeed, be there as it happens. Your messages are still welcome on the number 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Nashika Caesar is here with the latest in the world of business. Hello, Na.
Hi, Sammy. How are you doing?
I'm well. God is still keeping me. Good to see you.
Awesome.
What do you have in business?
Well, tonight, the cybersecurity, now they are warning that online investment scams are on the ascendancy. It says
It's
that
indeed on the rise.
Exactly.
It's indeed.
More than 3 million people have been scammed.
What?
Just within 6 months. So
Give
it's a
us the
serious
details.
issue, yes. The Cybersecurity Authority has issued a public alert warning Ghanaians about a sharp rise in fraudulent online investment schemes, revealing that victims lost more than 3.4 million Ghana cedis in the first half of 2026. According to the authority, 352 cases of online investment fraud were recorded between January and June 2026, resulting in total financial losses of 3.4 million cedis. We have more in the following reports.
The authority said the fraudsters operate under multiple aliases and lure unsuspected investors with promises of unusually high returns. The schemes are promoted mainly through social media, while transactions are typically conducted via mobile money. To gain public trust, the scammers reportedly present themselves as subsidiaries or affiliates of established foreign companies. The authority cited Daraz, a legitimate Pakistan-based e-commerce company, as one of the brands whose identity has been falsely exploited by fraudsters. Victims are often persuaded to invest in ventures purportedly involving crypto mining equipment leasing or online business tasks with assurances of substantial profits. However, once funds are transferred, investors neither receive the promised returns nor recover their initial capital. The authority noted that the operators frequently change their identities to evade law enforcement and regulatory scrutiny. Among the names currently associated with the fraudulent schemes are Daraz, Daily Trade, GH Store, Kuka, and eDollar. The authority urged the public to exercise caution when approached with investment opportunities promising unusually high returns. It also advised individuals to avoid joining unsolicited WhatsApp groups or responding to messages claiming affiliation with reputable organizations. Prospective investors were encouraged to verify the legitimacy of investment opportunities through official channels or recognized regulatory bodies before committing funds.
That was a business desk report. Moving on, finance and tax analyst Nelson Kujo-Kwagbeji wants the government to strengthen Ghana's external sector to generate more foreign exchange and ensure the country can sustainably meet its future debt obligations. His call follows government early settlement of a 700 million US Eurobond debt service payment comprising $525.2 million in principal and $174.8 million in interest under the country's Eurobond debt exchange program. In an interview with Citi Business News, the finance and tax analyst said the payment demonstrates a strong signal to international investors that Ghana remains committed to honoring its external debt obligations.
Cumulatively, since January 2025, as indicated in the press release, government has paid about $2.1 billion. And even that, our reserve position still remains stable, because even as at the end of first quarter, our total gross reserve was about $14.2 billion as against $10.2 billion in March 2025. And so this is good news for the market. We expect investor confidence to bounce back. We expect liquidity to be deepened, and we expect our rating to go up in subsequent rating. However, as a country, I think we need to refocus and recalibrate our effort more towards the external sector in order to rake in the needed effects to support some of this payment and also support the stability of the Ghana city.
That was finance and tax analyst Nelson Kujo-Kwagbeji speaking there. Moving on, cocoa farmers are pinning their hopes on the planned issuance of cocoa bonds in the next crop season to prevent a recurrence of the delayed payment that affected the 2025-2026 cocoa season. The farmers are urging that proceeds from the bonds be ring-fenced and used exclusively to finance cocoa purchases from producers, in line with the government's ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening domestic financing for cocoa purchases and improving payment efficiency. Speaking to Citi Business News, President of the Mancon Cocoa Cooperative Farmers Association, Francis Tenor, said the proposed financing model must guarantee prompt payment to farmers and restore confidence in the cocoa marketing system.
The recent measures that the finance minister brought, that they are going to secure for bond. And you see, for bonds, every year the money will be safely there for the cocoa purchase. It's not like every year that will be going to take significantly. But for bonds, when you secure it once, it will be there for maybe 10 years or 20 years before you make payment. So I believe it's a right. And I think with the bonds, these challenges will be. So we are just praying that the managers of cocoa take care of the things very well. The political class, sometimes the money that have been secured for one project can be taken to do other things. And we are praying that this government shouldn't do that at all. And we are praying that subsequent government should also be disciplined enough so that money is meant for cocoa business should be for just cocoa business and nothing else.
Francis Tenor is president of the Mancon Cocoa Cooperative Farmers Association. The government says it is intensifying efforts to transform agriculture into a modern and profitable sector capable of driving economic growth and strengthening the country's food security. According to the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, the sector remains central to Ghana's development agenda, with plans underway to make farming more attractive to young people. He was speaking at the launch of the 42nd National Farmers' Day celebration in Accra on the theme, Our Farmers, Our Food, Our Future.
Agriculture remains the foundation of Ghana's development. It feeds our people, employs our youth, provides raw materials for industry, earns foreign exchange, supports rural economies, and gives meaning to our national aspiration for inclusive growth. No country has achieved true transformation by neglecting agriculture. No nation can secure its future while depending helplessly on others for the food that it can produce. That is why, under the vision of His Excellency, the President, government is working to reposition agriculture as a modern, profitable, and job-creating enterprise. We are determined to make agriculture attractive to the youth, rewarding to farmers, reliable for industry, and dependable for our dear nation. The future of Ghana is tied to the strength of our
You heard there the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, and in City Business News on Eyewitness News. I'm Nashika Caesar. Thank you for your company, Sammy.
Thank you very much now for that latest in the world of business. We'll call for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you Talk Back. And remember, Talk Back is brought to you by Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
That feeling when you're getting ready for work. Your shirt is still crumpled and the iron is just starting to warm up. Or you're late for the wedding and now about to blow dry your hair. Or you have just stocked up meat for the cold store and then suddenly, oh, light off. Life just keeps getting paused. But what if your roof, yes, your roof, could keep things running in your homes and businesses? With EcoBank ASAP, you can switch to solar now by getting a loan to buy solar power systems with no upfront cost and easy repayment. Power your life through EcoBank's vetted solar vendors and lower your power bills over time.
Take back your power with EcoBank ASAP. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
These days, some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping surfaces. These materials may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work and think well, and you are ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cause you a lifetime discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Talk to them on 0302-231-155 in Accra and 03220-29365 in Kumasi for all your inquiries, or walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. Do not settle for less. Go for quality, but Latex Foam, or else you do yourself. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra, and it's now time for Talk Back, where we bring you the views and opinions you express on the stories we brought to you tonight on Eyewitness News. Remember, Talk Back is brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease, affordable document management solution. Fred Tete Jabano, editor here at Citi FM and Channel 1 Television, has joined me in the studio to bring you Talk Back. Let's start with Akasore for Joseph. Says, that is not different from what the Americans have, but because of politics, we want to ridicule almost everything because it's not coming from us. These are freight trains, and you don't expect them to look as beautiful as the bullet trains. The MPP promised us SkyTrain 8 good years. We didn't see any of them. And where did the money go? They will rot in opposition. Fred.
So we go to Paul Aka Jr. from Ahafomem. He says, at least those who are detaining the man should give him the opportunity to inform the family about his whereabouts. You can't take the law into your own hands to perpetrate crimes against individuals you perceive to be lawbreakers. This is from Paul Aka from Ahafomem. Then you have Abi National. Abi National says there's a saying that if you are digging a hole for people to fall in, you should make it wide. If not, you can also fall there. That is happening to Godfred Dame. Abi National from Wa. Then there's this other one who says MPP arrested Kesel Attah-Mensah without reason, and their lawyer Godfrey Dame was heard on a tape coaching Jakpa to go and lie so he could get Kesel Attah-Mensah in jail. If we were a serious country, he could have been barred by this time. But ask my brother, the MPP man, was he not here at the time when the company asked them to bring back the cars and collect their money? But you MPP party says no, because you people want to jail Kesel Attah-Mensah. This is from Dongoli, from Charikapong he says San NKC. Quite a long message from Dongoli. Jones Adoboy from La says Godfrey Dame can make all the noise. The law is still the law. He has soon forgotten what they did to Agojo, Abampapaba. That's
exactly the points Martin Kpebu made in that interaction. Let's take Richard from Amasaman. He says, why should even the court grant Hanan permission to travel? So we have not learnt anything from Kenofriata and Sedina. The court must not allow people to travel when they are on trial. This is from Paul in Amasama. Godfrey, I'm not sure about this word. Godfrey, something of justice for 4 years, is starting his achievement. Really, you see, political power is very fleeting. I hope he is repentant from those. I wish him and his clients well.
Ezekiel says, I am listening to the debate on the locomotive issue. It's sad that some of our leaders talk anyhow. The CEO, please focus on the job and forget the automobile engineer. Also, automobile engineer is a different field from real engineer. Doctor, put him to shame by making it work. This is from Ezekiel. And this one comes from Kofi from Tema. Kofi says, whether the person went to Wikipedia or not, just make your point. So no NDC communicator can communicate without insulting. That's from Kofi from Tema. Then there's this one from Kennedy. Kennedy says, MPP should give us a break. How did they manage the transport system when they were in government? They caused financial loss to the state when they were managing the transport system. And those monies can be used to purchase new buses, which now we are facing difficulty to have. That's from Kennedy.
Samuel in Accra says, was Godfrey not in this country when Afoko remained on remand for years after he was granted bail by a court of competent jurisdiction? Why are they behaving like some people are superhumans? Francis says, a country that is not good at maintenance still have appetite for old train. That's from Francis. Enyo in Pon says, why, after Honorable has been challenged on the Mahama train, he has become a stammerer?
Enyo is from Pon.
It's Pon, okay.
Yes, Enyo is from Pon. He will not be happy with you. You know, they sound the same or but different. Pon and Pon.
Okay.
Yes, so Enyo is from Pon. So let's go to Crave in Akosombo. He says, I don't know anything about railway systems and trains, but I enjoyed the conversation so much. Initially, I agreed with the minority on old train purchases but the CEO literally ate the minority up. The minority's tone and energy changed. Clearly, they were on a Wales propaganda chase. Please tell the CEO the way he has come to run his mouth today, you shouldn't fail. This is from Akosombo.
Jonah Kata in Osuno says, tell the micro minority to give us a break. They spend our money on non-existent SkyTrain and they are here making baseless allegations. Thanks to the engineer for educating them. Arrogance is not knowledge. Greetings to Ankara Sankara, incoming NPPPC for Swalaka. He's giving a shout out, Fred. He's giving a shout out. The UK operates several narrow gauge railways. A quick Google search helps. Okay, making reference to the conversation about the locomotive. Another one from before Fred, you come in.
This is our regular texter.
We the people of Oyarifa. We need to go look for him one of these days. We the people from Oyarifa. I know that it may sound a bit extreme to say that some universities courses are useless, but I think we can all agree that not all degrees will secure you a job in today's job market. We the people of Oyarifa. Friend, I'm sure you're making reference to that interview from the former education minister, which is making rounds on social media.
Exactly. This is from Stephen from Accra. He says, if the US president could call FIFA president to reverse Bologan's red card, then the government of Ghana should dissolve the GFA and appoint new people to manage our football. Stephen, that's all. and this is from Wales Yoga from Abutia 30 in the Volta region. It says, it's disappointing to hear such comments from a former education minister. Every course contributes to a well-rounded education and promotes critical thinking. Undermining specific subjects diminishes their value and importance in the broader context of learning. We expect better insight and support for all academic disciplines. Every field fosters unique skills that enrich our society. This is from Wales Yoga.
Fred, thank you very much for your time. Running out of time here, and this I wrap up today's edition of Eyewitness. Remember, you can also have your say on the stories we treat on Eyewitness News by sending your WhatsApp messages to the number 0539-986-996 0539-986-996, and we'll read it out to the listening public on Talkback on Eyewitness. Remember, Talkback was brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease, affordable document management solution. That's how we end today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Sami. We are official produced by Fred Tete Jabano, Kwabna Wilson, Beverly London, Junior Nodame, and with technical assistance from Desmonyako. Till we come your way again, may the good Lord be with us all.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.